didn't smile. Difficult enough because I was wearing a plate and it was mortifying. Be at a wedding and plop on the table. I was getting very nervous. I was thinking I'll never get this done until I went to Jimmy and he said it can be done. And then I still had to question myself, gosh, it's quite a lot of money. I just said, no, have to do it. And it changed my life from day one. What I had gone through with the other dentistry was painful, drawn out, not getting anywhere. This was so well handled. I didn't feel anything and I didn't remember anything. I'm so sad that I stayed so long with them, why I didn't go sooner to somebody else, and I thank God it was truly. I had dental problems probably all my life. I had an accident when I was about 6 and broke front tooth. It was still a baby tooth. Other tooth came down, it came down black. Eventually in my 20s I managed to get a crown, and that was terrific until my son headbutted me as a baby and broke the crown. So I ended up with a plate. I was living in the States and I was coming back from the States, and I said I can't leave America and not get my teeth done. And I did, and I got a bridge, which was fantastic. And it lasted 25 years. It was wonderful. I went to another dentist. It was a teaching dentist, and they decided my bridge was failing, but I hadn't even noticed that. I went to them. If they said, you know, it's failing, I'll get implants. And it was just strung out for a very long time, as in years. They did all kinds of procedures that really weren't getting any closer to getting the implants. And then I heard of Jimmy. I didn't like dentists anyway. At this stage I was terrified of dentists, and I went to see him and he was fantastic, and he managed in just a couple of months to give me my smile back. My daughter had been to Truly Dental in Bray. She told me about it and pretty much strong-armed me into going. Jimmy said, yes, I can do this, no problem, there's nothing to stop you getting this done, which I had been told there was all kinds of problems. That would be very difficult and they had to put bone grafts in. But when Jimmy went in, he actually had to take those bone grafts out, but he was able to put the implants in anyway.
And before treatment, what did a normal day look like for you when you were eating or smiling?
I didn't smile. Obviously I ate, but I didn't show my teeth. Difficult enough because I was wearing a plate and it was mortifying. Be at a wedding and plop on the table.
So were you avoiding any kind of social gatherings?
Kept it to a minimum and kept my mouth closed a lot. I trusted the professionals, and to the point of almost having Stockholm syndrome. I thought they knew what they were talking about when they were really just leading me along. Because it was a teaching hospital, they did some procedures that were quite questionable, and as I said, it took years, and I was afraid to leave them because they were the professionals. I really, really want to get implants done, and eventually at the end of this I will get them done, but it didn't happen. And yet within 3 months of being with Jimmy, it was done, finished.
And did this maybe affect your confidence at all?
Hugely. Completely aware of my smile. It was just something that was there all the time.
At your lowest point before treatment, how were you feeling about the future of your teeth?
I was getting very nervous. I was thinking I'll never get this done until I went to Jimmy and he said it can be done. And then I still had to question myself, you know, gosh, it's quite a lot of money. I just said, no, have to do it. It was something that was so important to me, and it changed my life from day one. Even though I was recovering and there was pain, I was able to smile. I was much more open and able, less self-conscious, meeting people, being able to speak to them, smile when I felt like it.
What was the treatment itself like compared to maybe what you had expected?
What I had gone through with the other dentistry was painful, drawn out, not getting anywhere, etc. This was so well handled. Absolutely no problem getting anaesthetic, as in knock me out, to get the implants put in, which made a massive difference because I'm nervous as a dentist anyway. If you have a fear and you get yourself a good dentist, which Truly and Jimmy was, he was able to make me feel so much calmer and explain everything as it was going to happen, and giving me the sedation. I didn't feel anything and I didn't remember anything afterwards. So I'd say go for it, do it, have a discussion with them.
And how was the recovery in, say, the first few days?
It was good. I was able to control it, obviously, with painkillers, etc., drink through a straw, soft food for a while, but it got better. And while that was going on, you're also readjusting your mouth. I've never had a proper bite, if you can say that. Now I have, so I had to get used to that.
What has genuinely changed in your life since getting your new teeth?
Everything. I mean, nothing tangible, but everything on the inside. My confidence, I'm able to smile, I'm able to sit here and speak to you. It's life-changing, everything.
What's something you do now without thinking that you avoided before?
Smile, which is a huge thing. It's part of everyday life. When you see people, greet people, it gives you confidence. It makes you more approachable.
What was the first food that you were excited to eat again?
Anything I could chew instead of soft food, because I did that probably longer than I needed to, but I was just being very, very careful. I can even eat meat now.
What would you say to someone who's maybe on the fence or scared about getting dental implants?
Meet somebody like Jimmy, or any of his team really, and have a talk with them. They're extremely good. They explain everything and they can calm your fears. And do it. Do it for yourself. You're not doing it for anybody else, and it really makes a difference. I'm so sad that I stayed so long with them, why I didn't go sooner to somebody else, and I thank God it was truly, and Jimmy in particular, he's amazing.